It's interesting that quite often we don't realize how much we change by moving places. You move from one place to the other, spend there a couple of years. Before you realize, you're a totally different person. You've been absorbed by the culture, you've been absorbed by how things run in that place that you forget yourself. But this is something that you don't see it, you don't feel it. It's only the people that you left behind that actually can maybe recognize it. You might recognize it somehow, but it's always not so noticeable. By the way, on the background, these are my travel videos. Moving abroad isn't just about changing countries. It's about learning how to exist in motion, because every day feels like navigating the globe, new rules, new rhythms, new ways of being seen. As an African living abroad, you don't leave home behind, you carry it with you. In your accent, in your values, in the way you greet people, the way you eat, the way you tell stories even. There are two worlds living inside you. One is home, family, of course, rooted and questioned, and the other one is in new place of becoming, where you constantly learning how to belong. Some days you feel stretched between them actually. Too foreign to be here, too changed to be at home. Other times, you realize you are becoming something new, a bridge between cultures, a mix of histories, a living archive of movement. The journey isn't just physical, it's emotional, it's psychological. It's a journey that actually shapes your identity without you knowing. You learn when to adapt, when to hold on, when to redefine yourself in your own terms. This is the experience of living abroad, by the way. Not losing who you are, but learning how to carry two worlds. And still, you carry the two worlds and walk forward with them. Moving abroad sounds glamorous. Does it? Yeah, I think it does. When people hear you're moving abroad, they go like, wow, you're living your best life. But what they don't see that identity crisis behind that stamped passport. When I first moved abroad, I thought I'll just be fine. I thought I'll just be me. I'll be moving in a different country, but I'll just be me. But that was the first lie, because immediately everything reminds you that you are not from there once you reached abroad. The way you talk, the way you greet people, the way you eat, the way you move, the way you also express yourself is totally different. You start to get an identity crisis actually, just from the moment you arrive. You might not feel it, you might not see it, but it happens. It happens so slowly that you cannot see it sometimes. Living abroad feels like navigating the globe without a manual, really. You're constantly learning new transport system, for example, trains that move faster than light, new social rules where greeting is optional. It's not even a form of respectful like back at home. Just sometimes saying good morning to everyone can be very suspicious. Eye contact plus smiling is enough. That is enough. You just smile like Teletubbies or like someone who is high on ecstasy, and that's it. That's actually more than enough. You can't be really too friendly too fast. No, the rule is match their energy or be ignored. Yeah, it's true. Finding yourself in a new culture, in a place where you didn't grow up, means learning new ways to exist without embarrassing yourself daily. But anyway, somehow, every time everyone else got the memo, except you tend to hang behind. You tend to follow up while others have already moved forward or passed. When you move abroad, people think you pack documents, clothes, and dreams. But no, what they don't tell you is that you also pack home. And home can be very heavy. You actually carry it in ways you didn't sign up for, really. You carry home in your expressions and also in your food choices. You say you are open-minded, but you know the truth, of course. One time you're served with plate filled with frog legs, and the next thing you're thinking about home. You wonder if you made even the right choices. Carrying home with you is a must, whether you like it or not. In one way or the other, it's gonna show up, of course. As an African abroad, you just don't move alone, by the way. You move with your parents' voices in your head, you move with your culture, you move with all your trauma, you move with all the food opinions that you have, that your parents also taught you to do and not to do. You hear someone say, "This food has no seasoning," And that's when you start to question if you're really on the right place, because you're not used to eating pale food. You're used to eating food with a lot of spices, or a bit of spices on it, something with taste. And before you realize, few years later, few months later, your identity starts to be reshaped. You start to enjoy the food without no one telling you what you said a few months earlier. You start losing the track of how you came into the situation. We call it identity crisis. So you arrive abroad and you realize you are different from the rest. You are different from the rest because your head tells you so. Because of the accent that refuses to disappear. And something in your head tells you the right decision is to try and speak like the rest. Try to change your accent. Instead of asking, "Can I have water please?" you go like, "Can I have water please? Can I have water?" Yeah. Your accent becomes a whole personality change. You start rehearsing sentences before speaking. You repeat yourself. You slow down. You listen more carefully. Sometimes you fake an accent really just to survive the conversation. And when people say, "Oh, I love your accent," you don't even know whether to say thank you or ask for emotional compensation. You change slowly but sure, without noticing. With time, you are no longer the person that you left home. You are someone else. When you call home, everybody's like, "And you talk differently nowadays. You've really changed. Oh, this place has really changed you," but you don't notice. Everything that was exciting to you seemed not to excite you anymore. Things have changed. You are two worlds in one body. The one world is home, and the other one is where you are right now. There are two worlds living inside you. One is home, which is loud, warm, familiar, where you don't have to explain yourself really. The other one is this new place, which is quiet, very structured, efficient, where system work, everything is pitch and perfect, where you're always constantly editing who you are. You are switching between them every single day. One phone call from home and you're suddenly soft again. You are suddenly this loud person who speaks 1,000 words per minute or per second. And then when an email comes or when a colleague calls, you are again professional, you are polite, you are emotionally unavailable. Your identity is scrapped slowly by slowly without you noticing, because right now you are multilingual in personalities. Back at home, people arrive when they arrive. You make an appointment with someone, they arrive when they will arrive. It could be at 10, it could be the next day, they will arrive when they arrive. But here abroad, 10 a.m. equals to 10 a.m. If you arrange with someone you're gonna meet at 10 a.m., you have to be there at 10 a.m. or a bit earlier. The habit of saying you're on the way while still at home is unacceptable. Canceling things last minute just because you can, you need a very tangible reason. Because people really respect time. And if you are this person who's not going to respect time, you'll be actually labeled as an unreliable person forever. And that's really serious. So you move quickly from this lazy person, well, maybe not lazy, but from this person who's always behind time, behind schedule, to this person who's ahead of time, ahead of things, having to plan, having the calendar full, marked with everything. Yes, that's what abroad sometimes shapes you into. Can someone agree with me that actually moving abroad really changes you without you really noticing? And sometimes it can be really weird, sometimes it can be really bad for you as a person, and more so to the people or to the extended family, but that's who you are, that's what you've become, and sometimes you can't change it. You think you are the same person, but actually you are a changed person. Because abroad, independence is expected of you. No one is going to deal with your problems. Struggling quietly is quite normal. No one is coming to help you and just look you like a mirror piece and see you have problems. No, you're gonna deal with your problems on your own, unless you have that good friend that checks up on you. Everyone really minds their own business. Minding your own business is real abroad. And sometimes this shifts to how you also express yourself to others. It shifts on how, because you have a lot of responsibility or you've known things differently, you start to express yourself differently. You start to become direct. you start to, for example, when it comes to financial basis, because things are also quite expensive, you start to own up to things, you start to even save more, you start to earn also a little bit more, and the more you earn, the more you tend to hold up your money, and also the perspective just changed. The money perspective changes once you move abroad. So it gets you to a point where if you look back at home, or if you happen to get in contact with the people back at home, they see you as a changed person. Quite often you will hear, oh, nowadays you've changed, or nowadays you act differently, or you think you're better now. You don't even act like us anymore. So like, you don't realize it, but actually the people who you relate with or had related with before notices that. And this could be actually a big problem, but it is what it is, really. Abroad, as good as it might sound, it's not heaven. It has really a lot of advantages depending on whom you're asking. It's really a place where you would say many people find refuge, many people exile, many people find their doors open, many people get ladders to their next level in life. But at the same time, it could be really frustrating. It could be lonely. If you ask many people, they will not know that whatever they became abroad is not what they expected, or how life is moving forward is not how they imagined it to be. And that's true. Because let's be real, living abroad can be very lonely. I mean, not Instagram lonely. I mean, real, quiet, sit with yourself lonely type. This kind where you miss random things, you crave familiarity, you want someone who gets into conversation with easily without explanation. You want, that friendship that just happens organically. You want that person that shares the same trauma, perhaps the way you see it. And this sometimes can be always hard to find. Silence is normal abroad. It hurts, but it's what it is. Back at home, silence is a problem, but abroad, silence actually means peace. Here's even the funny bit. To say how are you to someone, that is just a greeting. It's not even a question. So if someone asks you, how are you? You're supposed to answer, I'm good, I'm fine, I can't complain. But you don't start with your life stories by saying, this and that, like you narrate the whole story, how everything went at night. No, you don't start explaining your trauma, you don't start explaining your emotional honesty. You don't start by saying how God did miracles to you this morning. No, those are things that you don't say. It's all about showcasing the good thing, and the bad things, emotional bit of it, you keep it to yourself. And that definitely explains why also making friends or making new contact can be difficult. You meet, for example, because I'm African, you meet another African and it always starts like, where are you from? And then, of course, you respond. Within the next 2 seconds, they're going to tell you the whole of their life story. And before you realize, you have the same trauma bond. I call it trauma bond speed. So before you realize, actually, you are one family. You start to call each other sister or my cousin, my brother, and everything. In the next minute, you're a whole family now. You are actually belonging together. And even worse scenario, if you are coming from the same country, you become cousins that don't share any type of blood. Your identity definitely switches in depending on the circumstances. So if you are even this introverted person, once you see someone that you can relate to, someone that in one way or the other somehow can relate with you, someone, even if it's not from your country, but from a different country, let me say someone who immigrated into the country, so somehow you share some struggles, some things, you tend to bond with these people usually more. And that's what I refer to as identity switch. You start switching yourself based on the familiar things that are at the moment relating with you. So you live, you have the home, which perhaps in the next couple of years you're not going to be moving back there. And then you have the current home that you're not actually fitting in properly. And you have to live and exist, but you cannot fit perfectly back home, the way you existed with people. But you now try to find a family, you try to find people that you can relate to, people that can understand you better and you can understand them equally. Well, sometimes abroad it feels like a one long, oh no, montage. Because, see, you take the wrong train, you end up in the wrong station because you're new, you didn't even hear what they were saying, the announcement or whatnot. You couldn't read the sign because everything is not written in English. They didn't translate to you. You don't even understand the language in the first place. You go somewhere, order a chicken, what is delivered is something different. Before you realize, you're already eating different things that you cursed yourself never to eat, like frog legs. Let's not even go there. You start saying yes to things that you don't even understand, and suddenly you're committed for life. In the beginning, you might cry, you might feel panic, worried, all sort of things. But before you realize, these are things you start to laugh about because you've adjusted, you've gotten the grip, you've integrated, and you know how the flow goes. All of a sudden, you start to notice funny patterns. Everybody seems to know where they are going, except you, because you see people moving around, walking very fast, very, very fast. But sis, don't worry. Sometimes it's not even worth anything. It's like hurrying to go and look for air, like hurrying to go and see the sunset, hurry to go and look for the darker clouds, because somehow rain is coming and the clouds look cute and whatnot. Sometimes humor becomes your language because you can't express yourself in that language. The words fail you. The cultural gaps are also huge. You can't really relate. So you laugh first and then people get it. Suddenly awkward moments become connection moments. You learn to joke about yourself quite often because somehow that makes people comfortable around you. Eventually you realize laughter doesn't just help you survive really. It lets you get to carry the two worlds around you without losing your mind, without taking life too serious. Sometimes humor becomes your language because you can't express yourself in that language. The words fail you. The cultural gaps are also huge. You can't really relate. So you laugh first and then people get it. Suddenly awkward moments become connection moments. You learn to joke about yourself quite often because somehow that makes people comfortable around you. Eventually you realize laughter doesn't just help you survive really. It lets you get to carry the two worlds around you without losing your mind, without taking life too seriously, because some things abroad are really just absurd. After all said and done, you realize you're not losing yourself, by the way. You're just expanding, you're becoming a bridge of a mix of two histories, a person who just understands more than one world. You know how to adapt, for example, you can listen better, you can rebuild yourself actually from scratch, and that's very powerful, even if you might not realize. So to the person who is caught up having have changed home, having have moved to a different location, to a different country, far away from home, far away from family, just know that living abroad, for example, isn't about choosing between worlds. It's about carrying both. They both belong to you. They are both you. You're defined by both places because you can't erase your history. However awkward it could be, however imperfect it is, that's you. Always remember whenever you leave home or when you are far from home that you have to be open to learn, relearn, and unlearn many things. Don't try too hard to change yourself because identity can't be fixed. It moves, it stretches, it grows. And even if you're feeling lost and empty inside of you, just know you're still becoming. You're indeed on the right path. See you on the next.